Hi guys, this is Elize.
And this is Jake from Amaranthe, and you're listening and watching 8747 production.
What's up, everybody? It's Big Brian here, 8747 Productions. We're kicking it with a couple of the people, the members of the band Amaranthe. We got Elize and Jake. So welcome to the United States. Thanks for coming over. I know it's probably a stretch for you guys to get out of Europe and come over to across the pond, but how's the reception been so far?
It's been fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, it's been great.
Cool. Yeah. Well, welcome to Utah as well. We don't get, we kind of get skipped a lot on the tour routing, so we're really excited to have you here.
Yeah.
And it's really our pleasure to host you guys here tonight. And I wanted to talk to you guys about this new album that you guys have out. And first of all, sound is killer, and it really sounds great. It's very well produced. It's probably took you guys a lot of time to put that together. Talk about how long it took to put the album together.
From the start, like writing the music, this album didn't take that much time because I think we wrote the album in like 6 months or so, but the recording then took 3 months. So, and that was the same with the first album, and we moved to, me and Olof moved to Denmark, the small city called Ribe. It's like the oldest city in the whole of Denmark, and which has like this castle in it. It's almost like a episode of Game of Thrones. Like everything is really, really old, and we live outside of that, in the middle of nowhere. And when you do that for 3 months, you get like paranoid and see ghosts and whatever. But the album turned out pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. You guys, you both, the whole concept behind you guys both singing, that's kind of, a step out of the norm. And what inspired you guys to try that out?
It was actually just a coincidence. It was Jake and Olof. They started a project. They wanted to have this all-star project and invite people from the metal scene in Gothenburg, because we have a lot of bands like coming originally from Gothenburg. And they just invited me because we were really good friends, and I just spent a lot of time at their place, and yeah, just for fun I put my vocals on it because I was available. And then they invited Andreas Solveström, and they thought his growls fit really good together with my vocals and Jake's vocals. So yeah, they changed their minds about having this all-star project. So they decided to form a band instead.
Very cool. I'm really glad. One of my friends pointed it out a couple months ago, and I was like, "Hey man, this is really cool. Thanks for sharing." So if you guys have friends out there that aren't familiar with Amaranthe, you're really going to go out and help these guys out because it's killer. Let's talk about vocal production in the studio, if you guys don't mind, because you guys have this huge vocal sound, right? I mean, a lot of people in like the metal genre, their vocal kind of blends in with the rest of the thing, but yours is intentionally like almost at a pop level.
Yeah.
And talk about creating that. Like, how many times are you like double tracking and all sorts of things to get the sound that you guys did?
That's the cool thing, that Jacob Hansen, the producer, is pretty famous for doing like Volbeat and stuff like that. And he puts like the lead vocals, like he dubs that 3-4 times. With Amaranthe, we never dub anything except the choir, the choruses, and we dub the vocals there one time and then spread out the harmonies. So it's actually a way of producing that I don't know what Jacob is doing, but of course, as you say, put the volume at a pop level. That makes, if you have a good singer, you can always raise the volume, and it will still sound good. If you take a crappy singer and raise it just a bit over the guitar, you will hear that it's out of tune. So that's one of the reasons as well that we spend 3 months in the studio, so that we don't harm our voices, so that we can maybe do one song at a day and then have some rest, so that the voices are always clean and ready for the next song.
Right, and that brings up a big question, because a lot of people don't spend time to develop their talent with their voice, and they try to rush through it, and then they say, hey, just auto-tune that. But how do you guys feel about auto-tune and like spending a lot of time probably not having to use it, right?
Yeah, I don't like that actually. I hate autotune. My voice sounds really like not like my voice if you put that on it. So yeah, but we just do takes until it sounds perfect. And
Does it take a long time?
also
though?
with the choirs, no.
See, perfect pitch helps, right?
Of course.
But it's also you have to put in the feeling. You have
Yeah.
to like make the listener feel like that you mean what you're singing about, and that is, I think, the hardest part by recording a CD when you're in this like box and trying to get the same contact with your listener as live. Because I love singing live, and I think Jake also we love to perform live.
Yeah.
And
But back to that question. Of course, sometimes you need to fix the vocals because like if you have like a chorus with tons of harmonies, for example, it's impossible to sing out of tune like 10 cents same time because you always want to be in the correct pitch.
Right.
So if you don't fix this, little 10 things on one place, everything will sound awful. So you have to fix the vocals at some places. It doesn't matter which artist it actually is. Maybe Tina Turner then, because Tina Turner was a fucking crazy. She always went in there one take and then I don't know, went away. So yeah.
Yeah. No, but that
that's
brought
why
up.
the choirs just to it's not so much on the lead vocals. It's only the choirs that is very like it needs to be perfect.
You brought up another good point though, getting your emotion across in the studio. Trevor and I, we're recording engineers. I teach at Utah Valley University, so I have students that always like, man, how do we pull this out of the performance? How do we get a singer to actually connect with the song when you don't have a crowd? What were some of the techniques you guys use to, paint the picture?
I have to point in before I forget it. Joe, the bass player, for example, he's a phenomenal bass player. But when the red little fucking lamp starts to blink, he can't play bass at all.
Red light fever.
Yeah, exactly. So what you have to do with him is to press rec, but let him play without knowing. And then like, okay, let's record, and it's like, and then you're instead of playing what he just not recorded, you play what he'd recorded when he was not recording. If you get my point.
Right.
So that is one way to do it, and that's also a good way to do it with vocalists, because we do the same thing when we're standing in the booth. If I'm sitting outside and co-producing Elize, or if Elize sits outside and you always say like, hey, test this one time, and that take is 9 out of 10 the best take.
Right.
It's always like that because you feel comfortable. You think that, okay, I have no stress in this, whatever, I don't have to do it good now, and usually it's the best takes you take.
Right.
But I usually like it's about also like fooling your mind. Just pretend that you are not in the studio. Pretend that you have your audience in front of you, or if you sing about a person or whatever you feel like the song is about, you just picture that. I think for me it works at least.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's great advice. We call it red light fever, like I said, and
yeah, like you can say it like this. If you record someone and you can tell it like, yeah, picture yourself singing to the person you love, for example, and then that person can close their eyes.
Right. So do you ever take like pictures or anything in the studio, kind of visualize?
Yeah, I actually brought up a photo of my boyfriend once when I was singing.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's, I think the vocalist has really the hardest job. I mean, the guitar player, you learn your licks, you go through, you play your licks, and maybe you don't have the best day, but if you're off with the vocals, then everything's off, and everyone's like,
Yeah, if you catch a cold or whatever, it's cold in the studio or whatever, then it's really hard. And you also your temper, if you have eaten enough, everything comes back to the vocals.
I tell singers to come in the studio, like, just come in your pajamas, be comfortable, and just try to, make what's in your heart come out. And then, obviously, sometimes that doesn't work. You have to fight through it a little bit. But I'm going to try that. I'm going to say, hey, go.
Right, exactly.
See what happens. What do you guys have in the future? I mean, obviously, you're on this tour here in North America, and then what do you guys have in the future?
We will come back to Finland, right?
Yeah, right after this tour, we go straight to Finland, play festivals. And then we have like 9 other festivals to go.
Yeah, we already did like the whole summer, been booked every weekend, been like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've been playing different countries all weekend. So now we have 9 trips more to do like that when we get home. We actually fly directly from Los Angeles to Helsinki, and from Helsinki we fly to north of Finland, do one show, fly back down again, do another show, fly back home, be with the family for 4 days, and then we fly to, I don't know, where Dracula's from or something like that. Yeah, Transylvania. Yeah. And then we fly back to Helsinki again. But then we do all this stuff like for 9 more weeks. Then we will try to have some kind of vacation, try to maybe write some new songs, and then after, in the beginning of January again, we're gonna start touring again. We're gonna do Europe, gonna come back to the States, maybe do Australia, China, Russia. We're gonna come back to Russia and Japan. So.
Well, I appreciate your guys' input. I've learned a lot. I hope for all the viewers, you guys have learned a lot. When you come back, please come back through Utah. Just, hopefully we'll have a good enough, turnout for you tonight to say, yeah, let's go back there. It's Big Brian here with the members of Amaranthe 8747 Productions, and we're signing out.